So our objective for lesson 1, okay, is we're going to reason concretely and pictorially using place value understanding to relate adjacent base 10 units from millions to thousands. Holy moly, that's a lot, okay? You do not need to write the objective, okay? But I'm going to break it down for you. So we're going to reason concretely and pictorially, meaning that we're going to reason with our minds, okay? We're going to understand with our minds, and we're going to understand using like pictures, right? So for today, it's going to be place value discs, okay? We're definitely going to use place value discs today, okay? Using place value understanding, so we're going to take what we learned last year about place value and kind of bump it up a little bit. And then we're going to understand adjacent just means next to, okay? So like Leela is adjacent to me right now. She's next to me, right? So relating units that are next to each other. So follow me with your eyes over here. Okay. So 100,000 is adjacent to 10,000. They're next to each other. So they're two different units, okay? 100,000, 10,000, so two different values, but they're next to each other, okay? And so we're gonna like understand them and relate them to each other, even though that they're next to each other, okay? And we're gonna go from millions to thousands, okay? So in 5th grade, we go all the way past the decimal point, okay? Sound cool?
Yeah.
Any questions about the objective? All right, you do not need to write the objective, but just know, like, this is lesson 1, this is what we're going to be talking about, okay? All right, so we're going to move kind of quick. We're not going to do a sprint, but this is a little bit of review, okay? Don't say it. Don't say it. All right? Look at what 10 ones is equal to something, okay? 10 ones is equal to something. When I snap my fingers, tell me, go.
110.
110, beautiful. All right, woohoo. So, 20 think about it. 20 equals blank.
2 tens.
2 tens, good. 81 equals
8 tens.
8 tens. Okay, pause. 100 think about it. 100 Ready, go.
10 tens.
10 tens, nice. I'm gonna pause. Lily, did you have a question? Okay.
So when I saw the 10 ones, I thought just flip it because it's 110 instead of 10 ones.
Yeah. So 110 instead of 10 ones, yeah. And then here, 10 tens is also what? Something hundreds. How many hundreds? 1. Okay. So 100 ones is equal to 10 tens, which is equal to 100, right? 10 times 10 is what? 100. Okay. All right. We got to move on. So we keep going. We're going to do this really quick. So it says Farmer Jim keeps 12 hens in every coop. How many hens? In each coop? 12. Each coop has 12. If Farmer Jim has 20 coops, how many hens does he have in all? So we're going to pause on this question right now. So just answer the first one, okay? And here's the thing. We're going to review a little bit from last year, okay? I want you to solve this using the area model. Okay? If you're not sure, you may talk about it with your group. Okay? I'll give you a big hint. Okay? So, try it out. Go. You have 2 minutes to solve it. With the area model.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You go like this.
Now, if you look at here,
Sorry, solve it on your whiteboard. Sorry, solve it on your whiteboard.
20 times 10. 20 times 10. Would it be on the board? Wait, there wouldn't be 4. That would be 3 times 6. Because then what's 10 times 2? 2 times 6? 18.
but then
This was this would be
You guys remember. I see you. I see you.
I remember.
Oh,
the boxes.
Okay, so
Add up the partial products. Okay, talk with your group. Talk with your group. Okay, partial product is part of the product.
I'm gonna
The
wait.
product is the answer.
Miss,
So it's
wait.
the almost parts, right?
When you're done, can you do it again?
Sure.
I need 4x, right?
Talk together, guys. Okay. Talk to each other, guys. You have a bunch of different answers. Talk to each other.
Thank you.
Hey, about 30 more seconds. Even if you don't finish, it's okay.
That was fun solving. Yeah, I'm doing it again.
What's 2 plus 10?
0,
All right, give me 5,
2.
4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and pause everything. Put your cap on your marker. Okay. You don't need to write this right now. Okay. You can just look up here. So I want 20. Gosh, how many have I heard? You know. Well, there's 18 currently here. So I want 18 eyes looking up here. 18 pairs of eyes, not just one. Okay. 18 pairs of eyes looking up here. So area model. Area model. It's called an area model because you're finding the area of this square. Okay. So when we find area, remember it's area equals length times width. Remember?
No.
Please?
I don't remember that part, but I remember the rest.
Okay, so area equals length times width. So length times width, right? Length times width. 12 times 20. But then we can split it up to make it a little bit easier and find those partial products. Okay? So when we split it up, 10 plus 2 is the same as what? What's 10 plus 2?
12.
Okay? 10 plus 2 is the same as 12, so we're just splitting it up, right, into its different units. Then up here, 10 plus 10 is equal to what? 20, right? It's 2 tens. 2 tens is 20, right? So then we can multiply each box. So I'm going to start, it doesn't matter which one you start with, but I'll start with this one. Okay? 10 times 10, go. 100. Remember, because it's area model, so we find the area, so we do length times width. I heard some of you adding this. Okay? We're multiplying. We're still multiplying. Okay? Eddie? All right. Now I'm going to move on to this one. Okay? Again, 10 times 10, go.
100.
Okay, good. Moving on to this one. Now it's 2 times 10. Think about it. 2 times 10. Whoa, don't say it. 2 times 10, go.
20.
20.
And then
the last box.
2 times.
Stop. Do you need to be talking right now?
No.
Only when I ask for your response. Okay? Donnie, that's number 3 today, so you need to kind of be mindful of that. Okay? So, 2 times 10, 2 times 10, go. 20. Good. And remember, you can respond when I snap. Try not to respond beforehand. Okay? All right, here we go. So then we have to add up the partial products because the area is what's all inside, right? The area is what's inside. So these are my partial products, 100, 100, 20, and 20, right? I add those up. Okay? 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, go.
0.
Okay. 0 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2, go.
4.
1 plus 1.
2.
So 240 is our area, which means that 20 times 12 is 240. Okay? Questions on what I just did? Please do not be afraid to ask. Charlie?
Couldn't you have just done 20 times 12?
Yes, but I wanted you to solve it this way. Because remember, I teach you a bunch of different ways of how to solve it, and you find the one that works best for you. This might have worked best for one of your classmates.
I like
Right?
this one.
But technically, yes, you could have done 12 times 2, which is 24, and then added in the 0. Yep. That would have been the fast way. But I prefer you do it this way so you know the why, right? Remember, we're always trying to find the why. Okay? Beautiful. Great.
When are we gonna use this in real life?
Alright, Brady, are you going to ask that about every lesson? You did that a lot last year.
I mean, it's true.
Does it matter though?
Technically,
We only use it for school.
Okay.
It depends if you're a doctor.
Can I answer that question later?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're scientists.
So hold on to that. Okay. All right. Great. We're gonna skip the other question, just because we're kind of running out of time. So you're gonna erase what you have on your whiteboard. Have a clear whiteboard, and then have your notebook, like your first priority. Okay. So clear your whiteboard, and then put your whiteboard underneath or kind of to the side, because I want you to have your notebook out right now. Okay. Let's move a little faster because we only got, I want to get you to lunch on time. Okay? We only got like 20 more minutes.
What time is lunch at? 2 minutes.
55.
11. We got
So we have
32 minutes. 33 minutes.
I would like to get you to the gym at a decent time so we can drop off our stuff. Okay? Thank you. You have a question? Outside. Huh? Pray for rain. All right. Does everybody have their whiteboard erased?
Yes.
Does everybody have their notebook in front of them?
Yes.
Okay, those of you who said no, please open it up to that page. Okay? On your desk. On your desk. Not your smile. Okay? Put it in front of you on your desk. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Olivia. Okay, I don't see a single group who is doing what I want them to. I want you to have it open to that page, getting ready to write. But we have people of color also. Okay, great. Here we go. Moving on. So I'm actually gonna give you, I'm gonna give you that now. So can I have gardening crew come up, please?
Can I sharpen my pencil this way?
Yes, go ahead. Okay, everyone gets one of these, and then just put the extras in the tubes they have in the extras bit. Okay. Alright. And then while they're passing that out, please give me your attention, okay? I am also going to be giving you one of these today, okay? It is another whiteboard that I will be having you use, okay? But it's so you don't have to draw a place value chart every time, okay? So it's similar to what we did in 4th grade, where you guys just had your folder and we would slide these in. Same idea. And so in your desk, it's just going to go, people are talking over me. Where do they go? Where do they take extras and then Tuesday? Okay. So in your desk, it's just gonna go where your hard whiteboard is. Okay. I call this flimsy whiteboard. Okay. That's called your hard whiteboard. All right. So when I say get out your hard whiteboard or get out your flimsy whiteboard, that's what I mean. Flimsy whiteboard, hard whiteboard. Got it?
Yep.
All right. When you get this, just take out the paper that's in it, and we're just gonna recycle it. Okay? Because I'll get you another one of those later. Sound good? Okay. Charlie, what did you see? you take the old ones out, my friends, you're going to recycle them, okay?
You're looking at how many hours.
And then, just don't throw it in, just place it in, okay? Say, Andrew.
Pray for us.
Okay, you're not listening. Just please gently put it in. You don't need to crumple it. We need to move fast, okay? So take out the old ones, recycle them, put the one that gardening crew just passed out inside, okay? If you need help, let me know.
There's a lot of these. She said not to crumble it any.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It must just be leftover. Here. If you need a wipe, like if there's old writing on there, you can come get a wipe.
Oh gosh, mine has bubbles on it. Oh, fancy. Yeah, I know. Those surface wipes that a kid can
I don't know. I don't think so.
Hey, look at how many hours we have till home. Hooray! 62 hours.
625.
Oh, but the 5 isn't right, so it can't be right. The 5 isn't the right way, so it can't be the right way.
All right. That was great. St. Clair.
Pray for us.
Okay. Once you finish that, okay, you may put your hard whiteboard away. Okay? You put your hard whiteboard away. So now we're just going to have our notebook, a pencil, our flimsy whiteboard, and a dry erase marker out on our desk.
And a tissue.
And a tissue. Okay, I want to get started again in 5, 4, 3. Do you need some help? You good? Do you need help?
Yeah.
1. All right. If you're still putting it in there, that's okay. But I'm gonna keep going. Okay. Just because I want to finish this. See if I can find my pen. There it is. There it is. All right. Cool. Here we go. So while you're finishing that, just kind of look up here at the same time. Okay. We're gonna keep going with it. So if you wiped it off, just quickly wipe it off, throw it away. Let's go. Okay. We're not spending extra time making it look pretty. You're just going to put more dry erase marker on it anyway. So, all right. So this right here, okay, says how can we show 100 using 10 discs? Okay, so I'm going to do this part. Okay, we're going to show 100 using 10 discs. So right now in my place value chart, I have 100. Okay, 100, and then they put a little X through it because it's going to move from the hundreds place to the tens place. Okay. So 100 is actually 10 tens, like we found in our little warm-up, right? So I'm putting it in my 10 frame, 10 little dots. Okay? Nope. I'm just doing this for right now. You're going to join me a little bit. Okay? So right now you can just focus. If you want to write it in your notebook, that's fine, but that's up to you, okay? So 100 turning into tens gives me 10 tens. Okay. Eddie and Emma, I need you to hustle up a little bit. Okay. Just get ready. All right. Okay. So moving on. Then the same thing. How can we show 110 using ones disc? Okay, guys, I'm doing this part. I will ask you for your answer in just a second. Okay. So 110 crossed out now gives me 10 ones. Is this making sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Now the same is true for millions, okay? 1 million using 100,000s, okay? 1 million using 100,000. So I have 1 million, that 1 million gets crossed out, and it turns into 10 100,000s, okay? So 10 100,000s is the same thing as 1 million, right? So even with the bigger numbers, it's the same idea, Okay, we're just working with 1, 10, 1, 10, 1, 10, right? We go back and forth on that. Olivia, did you have a question? Okay. We good so far?
Yep.
Okay, moving on. All right, and then same thing here, right? 100,000 in 10,000s would be 10 10,000s, right? 10 tens equals 100, so there you go. And all that stuff, okay? So what we've learned from this, okay? Well, I'm actually gonna bounce back really quick. So 10,000 turning into thousands would be 10,000, right? 10,000 equals 10,000, right? All right, Eddie, can you pick one, put the rest away? Okay, I'm gonna pause until we can get ready to be in a math lesson. So, do what you need to do to be in a math lesson right now. Sitting up straight, putting distractions away. Okay, I know I just threw a lot at you in the last 20 minutes or so. Yeah. You can do it, you can do it, okay. Okay, great. So, what we did here, this is the important bit, and you may want to write this down, okay? When we move to the right on a place value chart, the right, okay? The left?
Nope.
No, the right. Right, okay? So when we move to the right, we're dividing by 10, okay? So if I move from one place value directly to the next adjacent place value, meaning directly next to it, just one second, okay? Don't give me that. Don't give me that. I will answer your question in a second, okay? If I'm moving from one place value over to the direct next one to the right, I'm dividing by 10. Okay? So maybe take a second to write this down on your notebook. You could even put just a right arrow and then divide by 10. Okay? If you want to put that in your notebook, that will help you a lot. So to the right, we're dividing by 10. Lily?
That's literally what I did. I just did an arrow and then I did
Oh, great.
side
Okay.
and I did divide.
That's great. So Charlie, what was your question?
I was gonna ask, what do you write for like words?
There you go. So just put right arrow, divide by 10. Or you can say right, divide 10. You know? If we're moving to the right, we're dividing by 10. Or like we can think of it the other way too. If we're dividing by 10, we're moving to the right. Okay? Yeah.
How could a bigger number go to a smaller number?
Good question. So she said, how could a bigger number go to a smaller number? So that's kind of what's happening, friend, but it's also not. It's just changing value a little bit. But remember, if we're on this one, right? 110, Charlie, how many ones do we need for 110? 10 ones, good. And that's exactly what's going on here. So the number's not getting smaller. It's just moving. It is getting smaller because it's moving to the right on the place value chart. But the value itself is not changing. 110, okay, like 110 is equal to 10 ones. Okay? 10 ones is equal to 110. It's the same thing, but we're just putting it on a different spot in the place value chart. Does that help? Okay. Don't think about it too much, okay? The most important part is that you know that when we move to the right, we're dividing by 10, okay? Yes?
If that number goes through the decimal point, will it break down like into 5?
No, the decimal's going to be the same thing, and you'll see that in a second, okay? But good question. All right. So, everybody get that down? All right, good. If you choose not to take notes, that's on you, but I really think it's important that you do, okay? So then here's our recap of what we just kind of learned. So that means 1 million divided by 10, because remember we just moved one place to the right on the place value chart. Here's 1 million, okay? I am 1 million. When I divide by 10, okay? When I what by 10?
Divide.
Good, good. When I divide by 10, my 1 million, I turn in to 10 hundred thousands, right? 10 hundred thousands is the same thing as 1 million. Just like how 10 ones is equal to 110, okay? So that's important to think about. So 100,000, okay? So I went from 1 million, okay, to my 100,000s. See, I even use our place value chart to help me sometimes, right? So then if I have 100,000 and I divide by 10, that gives me 10 10,000s, right? Oh, no, divide by 10, 1 10,000, right? Yeah.
You were doing the top one at first.
Yeah, I was. Okay, I confused myself. I'm sorry. That was my bad. Okay. And it's even, it's easier to see as we go down, right? 110 divided by 10 is 10. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying the wrong thing. I was recapping a different thing. Ignore that for a second. Okay? What I was saying was what we were doing over here. Okay? So whenever we move to the right on a place value chart, we are dividing by 10. That is the important thing. Okay? What it's saying here, okay, and that's why I got confused. Oop, come on. Sorry, my pen has been out of whack today, and I'm not really sure why. Come on. There it goes. Okay? So what it's saying here, okay, if we're moving from 1 million, okay, the value stays the same. So I got ahead of myself, basically is what I'm saying, okay? So what it's saying here is when we have 1 million and we divide it by 10, it just moves to the next place value, okay? So let me correct, I steered you wrong a little bit, okay? So we're not, when we're doing this, we're not dividing yet. Oh my goodness, sorry. When we're doing this, we're not dividing quite yet, okay? So that was my bad, I'm sorry. So it is still true, okay? It is still true that when you move to the right, you are dividing by 10, okay? That part's true. That part, I didn't mess up, but I was getting ahead of myself. So here, what we're doing is we're just showing the numbers in a different way, right? So 1 10,000 is the same as 10,000s. That part's still true. We're going to move on from that, okay? Right now, what we're saying is that when let's start with 100, okay? So if I have 100 right here, and I were to divide 100 by 10, okay? You guys know this. What's 100 divided by 10? Shout it out. No. 10. Okay? So what we did, and you just know that off the top of your head, right? Because 100 divided by 10 equals 10. And you guys know that just because you know your math facts, right? 10 times 10 equals 100. Something times 10 equals 100. It's 10. You guys know that. But then what it looks like on a place value chart, this is the important part, okay? Especially for today's homework, this is important. So 100 divided by 10 just gives me 110, okay? Or 10. All right, so I'm going to do another one really quick. Just wait 1 sec, okay? So if I did 110 divided by 10, okay? 10 divided by 10. Anytime we divide something by itself, we get what? 1. Okay? If we divide by 0, we get 0. Okay? But if we divide by a number by itself, we get 1. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. Okay? Same thing. Anytime we divide anything by itself, we get 1. Okay? What's 20,000 divided by 20,000?
1.
1. Okay?
That's a lot.
Anyway, yeah. So then the same thing applies. This is what you're kind of doing for your homework, okay? But I'm going to write it in standard form now instead of place value discs, okay? So if I have 110, okay? So, 110, okay? Dividing by 10, I'm going to have 1, okay? So that 1, quite literally, guys, on the place value chart, that 1 that we had in the tens place just jumps 1 spot to the right because we divided by 10. Okay? So now, if I'm going back to, well, first, any questions? I know it's confusing. That was my fault. I confused you. Charlie, you have a question?
Why wouldn't it be like 3 divided by 1? If you did, oh, no, I get it.
Okay, sorry, I didn't really hear you the first time. So. Henry, did you have a question? Okay, Olivia?
In the homework, will there be like several different boxes?
Will there be, sorry, did you say several?
Will there be several boxes?
Yeah, there will be, yeah, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But right now we're just getting the gist of it. Yeah, Lily?
When you move from the tens to the ones, does it matter? I know this is kind of like a weird question. Does it matter where you, like what box you put where you move it?
Kind of, and I'll show you that.
You moved it down a box.
That's why. All right. So we're gonna move on. So this is gonna make a little more sense now that I've got my head screwed on straight. Okay. So the pattern that we uncovered. Okay. And this is kind of what I already started. But check it out. Now we're gonna go into the THs. Okay. The decimals. The tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Okay. So I start with 1. Okay. 1, 1. And I'm going to divide by 10. So remember, if I'm dividing by 10, I move which direction?
Right.
The right. 1 box. Okay? 1 place value. So I'm going to move my 1, 1 place value to the right. Okay? So this place value is called the tenths place. Say tenths place.
Tenths place.
Good. And I know you're wearing masks, but I can hear you. Don't worry. Say it. Make sure you have the TH. Tenths place. Go.
Tenths place.
Good. Tenths place. You'll get used to it. Okay. So now this was 1, 1, but it's now what? 1, 10. It's 1. Class, it's 1. 10. You got it. Okay. So 1, 1 divided by 10 is 1/10. Does everybody see what happened there? Okay, this is essentially what you're doing for your homework, okay? So then here, 1/10 divided by 10 is going to be 100. Okay? 100. And so what's important to know, guys, about decimals, okay? You stop using whole numbers once you pass over that decimal, okay? And we kind of know this from our fractions, right? 100th looks like that. It's not a whole number, it's a fraction of a number. It's a part of a number. Do I need to take something? Okay. Lily?
So basically what you're saying is you would to write it out and basically do your decimal and then the number?
Yes. So if we were doing it without discs, okay, so if this was 1/10, ignore that little bubble right there, okay? 1/10. Then it would be 100th. What do you think is going to go right there?
Decimal?
Decimal's right here.
0?
0. Bingo. Okay? So then the decimal equivalent of that is 0.01. Okay? We'll get into that later. But that's kind of what we're getting at. Okay? Now it's time for your turn. Okay? So let's go to this one. All right? So it says 6 divided by 10. So what is that? 6, what place value does it go in? Ones, okay? So just put a 6, take your dry erase marker, put a 6 in your ones place right now. Ready, go. Just on the top. Just draw a 6 real quick on your ones place. Nice. Now I want you to solve it. 6 divided by 10. Okay, 6 divided by 10. So you're going to use the arrow to move it. Is it going to move to the left or right? Right. Good. Correct.
You can't
Okay.
divide 6 by 10.
You can. You can. Okay? Guys, do exactly what I did. You just move it over 1 place to the right. Trust me. Okay? Just move. I did everything for you. You just have to find where to put the 6 now. So draw the arrow and then block that 6 in. Yes, but don't write the fraction part yet. Just put a 6 there. There it is, guys. It.
By itself.
Just don't think about it too much, Jenny. Remember, it just moves 1 spot over. So where's it going to go? This is the 1 place. What's the next place over? Good. So put the 6 in the 10th place. That's it. Okay. All right. St. John.
Pray for us.
Okay, now your attention's up here, okay? So even though there's a decimal there, you guys see this and you get tripped up, okay? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's the exact same thing as if we were over here, okay? It's the same exact thing. So 6 divided by 10 means it's going to move to the right one spot to give me 6/10, okay? So the way you would write that, and I'll take either form, okay? I kind of prefer decimal form right now, but I think on your homework it'll have you do fractions too. But you fill in on the other places, okay, like the empty spots, you fill in a 0, okay? Just like as if you were to have like 1,000,
250.
you know, 250, right? You would want a 0 there because then you would just have 125 and that wouldn't make sense, right? So anyway, it's the same thing. You're going to fill in a 0 on the empty spot. So 6 divided by 10 is 0.6 or 6/10, okay? That's how we read that decimal as 6/10, okay? Any questions on that? Because it's in the 10th place. Charlie?
Will we always move the 6 below the 10th, not the down to the second?
So I do want you to do that only because it's going to get messy if you keep it on the same line. So you'll see on your homework there will be like 2 or 3 spots. So I do want you to move it to the next line down and just leave that spot for your arrow. Okay?
Yeah, when we move like 10,000 over to 1,000, would it be 5?
No, it doesn't. The number itself, the digit, doesn't change. Okay? Did the 6 change to 3? No, just 6, right? The digit is 6. The value changed, it got smaller, right? Whenever we divide something, it gets smaller. But since we're dividing by 10, and place value works in tens, right? Every place value increases by 10, right? Or decreases by 10. That's what we're getting at, is that no matter which way you move on a place value chart, it either divides or multiplies by 10, okay? And you'll see that. Just hold on a little bit longer. You'll get it, okay? You'll get it. All right, we got to move on. So really quick, we're not going to like solve this one, okay? But now check it out. 6 divided by 100, okay? 100 is how many, let's see. How many tens make up 100?
10.
10, good, okay? Now, here's the tricky thing, okay? So we're starting with 6. You can just watch this one, okay? Starting with 6, and we're dividing by 100. So if we're dividing by 10 and we move 1 spot to the right, okay? How many spots to the right do you think we're going to move for dividing by 100? 2. Oliver, you said 2? Why 2?
Because the hundreds are 2 spaces away from the ones.
Good, yeah, you can even look at it that way, right? Hundredths, right? Hundredths, 100 is 2 spaces away from the ones. It's also, too, guys, 100 is double, well, not really double, but like it's 10, 2 sets of 10, basically. I know that doesn't make sense because it's not that way, but like 2, let's call it sections. That's the wrong word. I'll think of a different word. But like 2 sections of 10, right? Going to the right once is 10. So then going to the right again is another 10. It's not 20, but it's 100, right? It's 10 times 10. The value of 10 is there, okay? I know that's confusing, but here's the quick trick. Are you ready? This is going to be helpful, okay? How many zeros are in 100?
2.
How many spots to the right did we move?
2.
Period, okay? Period. So, what if it was 6 divided by 1,000? How many spots to the right would we move? 3. How many zeros are in 1,000? 3. Okay? That's what we're getting at. Charlie?
There's only 2 spaces to the 1,000.
One more time?
There's only 2 spaces to the 1,000.
Not if we're in ones.
But we always move right.
We do. So if I was doing 6 divided by 1,000, 6 is 6 ones. So moving 3 spots to the right. 1, 2, 3. right? That would be in thousands. Okay, Lily?
So when you said sections, I thought of like groups of like whatever.
Yeah, but it's not exactly groups though. I guess it's like 10 groups of 10. But it's 2 though that we're talking about. So I don't quite have a way to explain that yet.
Look it up on YouTube.
Yeah. Oliver?
You still put the 0 with the 6.
Good question, yeah. So then, and that's a preference thing. I like a 0 before the decimal. That's technically optional, but I like it because it's a little cleaner. But you do have to put zeros here. Okay? So your answer becomes 0.006. Okay? Alright, we've got to move on. I have one more thing I got to show you, and then we'll be good to go. Okay? So, I guess 2 more things. So, this one right here, okay, 745, okay, if I'm dividing that by 100, everything's going to shift to the right how many times? 2, okay? So this 5 is going to go 1, 2, this 4 is going to go 1, 2, and this 7 is going to go 1, 2. Everything shifts to the right 2 times, 2 zeros and 100, okay? 2 times. So the 7 goes here, the 4 goes here, 5 goes here. So 745 divided by 100
is
7.45. Okay? It's really that easy. Okay? You're just moving numbers up and down the place value chart. It's really not that hard. I know it's confusing because it's new. We're going to have to get to this later, I think. But really quickly, okay, if I had 0.4, okay, or 4/10, and I'm going to multiply by 10, if dividing by 10 means I move to the right once, what do you think multiplying is going to mean? I move to the left once, right? So everything shifts over 1, so even that 0, okay? So that 0 goes in the tens, the 4/10 moves to 4 ones, and it just becomes 4, right? I'll dive into this more when we get back from our special. I don't know where our special is today.
I think it's music.
Okay.
No, it's music.
Hold on. Keep it on math, please. Keep it on math. Charlie,
What?
you had a hand raised.
Yeah. My question is, how many times do you have
For which one? This one? Once. How many zeros are in 10, Charlie? 1. So just once. Okay.
Would we write it like we did with the 10 divided, but they're going this way and
To the left. Yep. Multiplying left, dividing right. So before you leave today, your ticket out of here is on your notebook now, under where you wrote this, okay? Your ticket out of here is to say left multiply by 10, okay? So everybody write that on your notebook right now, and then I'll check it, and then you can go to the hallway.